Paige, a 25-year-old office worker. I recently married my husband, Brian. Since his parents left behind a huge debt, we're poor due to having to pay it off. But I never felt frustrated. I'm happy every day because he's such a wonderful person.
I'm home!
Oh, welcome home! You're late. Hold on, what happened? Why are you so dirty?
When I was walking along the river, an old lady told me she lost her hearing aid, so I helped her. It seemed like she was about to go on the train. I wonder if she was able to get on it in time.
When he finds out someone is in trouble, even the slightest bit, he can't help but lend a hand. One time during our date, he saw an old man with a lot of stuff struggling to get up the stairs, so he went over saying, "I'll help you." Then the old man said, "Oh my, such a nice young man really does exist," and shook his hand. Later, we found out that he was the editor-in-chief of a big press company and Brian was featured in a magazine. We also have people often visiting our house or sending us gifts saying, "This is appreciation for helping me." This is why I'm living a happy life every day with him. However, at that point, I began to be stalked by a certain person.
Paige, your phone's been ringing.
He told me this one weekend while he was folding up the laundry and I was cooking. When I picked up my phone to check... Oh no, not again! The screen said Mr. Briggs. I met him at a drinking party I was invited to by my colleagues. He's a wealthy person who often appears on TV. He may be a good person on the outside, but inside he does all sorts of bad things and uses the money to cover up his intentions. He has several girlfriends and wants me to be one of them. I wanted to block him so badly, but he told me before, "If you block me, I'll make your company go bankrupt." He's the kind of person who would seriously do that. What should I do? Brian, of course, knows about this.
Is it that Mr. Briggs again?
He came to check on me. I nodded to him and then reluctantly answered the phone. Then... Yes, hello.
Hey, Paige, what's up? What are you doing now?
I'm making dinner.
Really? Can you cook for me next time? Anyways, hurry up and divorce your poor husband. If you become my girlfriend, I'll give you as much money as you want.
I've repeatedly stated that I have no intention of having that kind of relationship with you.
Huh? What? Are you seriously going to say that again? Hey, where does your husband work? What company?
What?
You'll be in trouble if he becomes jobless, huh? Sorry, but I can do that just like that. With that being said, all you need to do is be with me. Capiche?
Then Brian suddenly snatched the phone from me and said,
Hello? This is Paige's husband. Please don't bother my beloved wife anymore, okay? Goodbye.
Hey, Brian!
Okay, problem solved.
You also hung up. Why did you do that? He might do something to you. You might get fired from your company.
So what? I'll be fine. Don't worry.
This confident smile. Ugh, goodness, I can't win against him. Yeah, you know what? By looking at you, I know that you'll be fine. But one morning, a few days later... Oh, good morning, Brian. You don't look so well. Are you okay?
Yeah, I don't need breakfast this morning, though.
Why don't you take off today?
I'll go. Sorry for making you worried.
Even though he was smiling, he was pale. Actually, his face has remained like this since that day. I told him to go to the hospital, but he would say it's a waste of money and refuse, and also to take time off work. But he said he'll go because he needs to pay the bills. I know he's saying this so I don't need to work too hard, but I'm so worried! Then, one night, just after Brian came home, the doorbell rang. I wonder... Yes? After saying that...
Hey, Paige! What's up? It's me! So this is where you live, huh?
Oh no! This isn't good!
Goodness. People around you are so tight-lipped. No one told me your address, so I had to hire a detective. I also found out where your husband works at. You can't run away from me anymore.
Seriously? Oh no, I know this person is gonna do something to harm Brian. As I was thinking that,
Please leave, Mr. Briggs.
he came out of the bedroom looking very pale and breathing heavily as if in pain and said that.
Oh, didn't notice you. Perfect timing. Hey, Paige is coming home with me, okay? I won't let you do...
Then, all of a sudden, Brian went BAM and collapsed on the floor. Brian! I immediately called an ambulance. I wanted Mr. Briggs to leave, but the most important thing to me was to take Brian to the hospital. He was taken to the ICU, and just when I was revealed that his treatment had finished without any problems, the doctor called me. I was told that he had been diagnosed with cancer and only had a year left to live. My mind went blank. He's only 30 years old. He's also someone who has done more for others than anyone else. Why does someone like that have to meet the fate of dying at such a young age? This isn't fair at all. He's someone who still needs to find a lot of happiness in the future. I was so shocked that I don't remember much, but I think I yelled something like that to the doctor. The doctor said that we could have the surgery done by a doctor overseas. The chance of recovery would be slightly higher, but of course that would cost a lot of money, which we don't have. But I wanted to help Brian no matter what. With that in mind, I began to call everyone I could outside the hospital, but when I explained the situation, everyone had the same answer. No. Come to think of it, of course, because who would lend someone such a large amount of money? I was panicking. Then, suddenly, someone snatched my phone when I was thinking of what to do. When I turned around, Mr. Briggs was standing there.
Sorry, but I heard everything right now.
A few days later at the hospital, Brian, who had been unconscious, woke up.
You heard everything from the doctor, right?
I didn't know how to answer that question, so I remained silent for a while. Then he said,
I asked the doctor why I was feeling unwell, and he said it was due to overwork. I told him I know my body the best, but turns out it was cancer. 1 year to live, huh? I'm sorry.
Even though he'd been told that, he's smiling, not making sure I'm sad. I clenched my fists and said this to him. I see.
What?
I actually brought these for you today.
Are these divorce papers?
Brian looked very sad for a moment, but after a while he said,
I understand. If I die, you'll be alone. So, no way I want that to happen. Okay? Thanks for everything until now, Paige. I'm happy as long as you are. Promise to be happy?
Even until the very end, he's thinking about other people's feelings. Stop! You're making me cry! I left the hospital room crying and went to submit our divorce papers. I then packed my stuff in the apartment where I lived with Brian and headed to Mr. Briggs's house. The day that I found out that Brian only had a year left to live, he told me he would give me money if I divorced Brian. I'll never be able to see Brian again, so I'll continue to live like an empty shell under Mr. Briggs's care. But I'm okay with that as long as Brian stays alive. However, a few years later, something unexpected happened. Since I started living at Mr. Briggs's house, I honestly felt like a lifeless doll. And that day, he called me over and touched me all over while saying things like this.
Well, young and hot girls are good too, but sometimes I miss smart and thoughtful girls like you, Paige.
I see.
Anyways, I have to go now. I have a TV recording today. Please walk me to the front door. Come.
Just as I was leaving the room with him holding me by the shoulders, I heard someone yelling from the front door.
Ugh, God, you guys are so loud!
I didn't know what was going on, but I saw his assistant and housekeepers arguing. But when I saw this person, I froze.
Paige!
Brian! Seeing him looking healthy, tears were welling up in my eyes. I was so relieved that he had survived and is doing well. Thank God!
Huh? Wait, oh, are you Paige's ex-husband? You seem to be doing well. Good for you. It's all thanks to you. Are you the one who paid? Yeah, I did. I knew that's what Paige would do.
If I told him the truth, he probably would have thought I sacrificed myself for him, and if he thought that, he might do something reckless again, so I didn't dare tell him about this. I made this choice in the first place because I wanted him to live. That's it.
So, why are you here? Did you come to thank me for what I did?
After saying that, Brian dropped the bag he was carrying on the floor and opened the zipper.
I'm paying back the full amount. What?
To my surprise, inside the bag was a huge stack of bills.
I want you to return Paige to me. What? Return? Are you nuts? Of course not.
At that moment, long time no see, the son of the Briggs family.
Crap! Mrs. Bates, what are you doing here?
An elderly woman dressed in an expensive kimono came with two men in black suits. You used to be a snotty-nosed kid, but now you've grown up with an inflated ego. Sheesh. So, you know that your father owes me a lot, right? When your father had a hard time with his company, it was us who helped him. Try and do something to Brian, but I won't forgive you. You're scared and can't go against your father, huh? Your father is like that with me, right? Right?
Oh,
Sorry for interrupting. Nice to meet you, Mrs. Bates. I'm Paige. May I ask how you know Brian? Hello, Paige. Sure. He helped me. I dropped my hearing aid by the river before, and Brian found it for me. I was traveling alone, not having these two with me, so I was in a lot of trouble. I appreciate him so much. Oh, the old lady he talked about before. He was so kind to me that I really wanted to thank him, so I hired a detective to find him, but then he told me he had cancer and only 1 year left to live. I was shocked.
She paid for my medical expenses, so I kept all the money you gave me that you got from Mr. Briggs for me, and planned to come here to bring you home like this after I left the hospital.
You heard him, Briggs. Let Paige go. She said that while stretching out her arm and pointing at him.
Old hag. I'm not the same person I was before. It's true that if I go against you, my father will get pissed and will give up some of his assets. But I have assets that I've built up myself, too. So, it doesn't matter if he gets...
At that moment, someone else came to the front door. This time it was 3 guys, and they took out something from their pockets. They were police badges.
Why the police here? I reported to them. I actually know someone from a press company, and when I explained the situation and how to get my beloved wife back, he told me he had some interesting facts about you. So with Mrs. Bates' cooperation, we began to search deeper into that. What? That person was brave enough to tell me everything for my sake, because if we make your intentions public, he knows you'd use money to cover it or harm his company. You've been embezzling a lot of money from your company, huh? Crap!
After he said that, the police officers grabbed his arms.
Hey, get off me! Do you all think it's okay to do this to me? I could destroy your police station! Get off!
Mr. Briggs was arrested while looking completely pale. There's no way he could destroy a police station! A whole range of emotions welled up inside Brian and me that we were laughing through the tears. Later, it was discovered that Mr. Briggs committed various other crimes and was thrown into prison. Everyone got to know his true colors after the arrest, so he buzzed online and was heavily criticized on social media. Since society is now giving him cold looks, there's no way he could lead a normal life after he's released from prison. On the other hand, I remarried Brian, who's now fine. He's now working at Mrs. Bates' company, so we're living in company housing. The salary is pretty good, so we're almost done paying off his parents' debt. Oh, right! I was talking about this with him the other day. So, how's work so far? Good?
Yup. Mrs. Bates helped me a lot, so I owe her. I need to work hard to contribute to her company.
True, but take it easy, okay? I'll get so mad if you get sick again.
I'm okay, but I need to take care of myself more than before since I don't want to make you worried anymore.
Good answer. So, you better eat more. I made so much today, so you better eat all of it. Thank you for watching. What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more.